السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed.
And my name is Safa.
And we're coming back to another episode of Quran Weekly where we read the Quran in Arabic but discuss it in English. We've already got a message. We have a message on the Twitch channel that says, "Had a message for sex-based terms." No, imanakum is the Zanzibar. Well, allow it because I know that you didn't mean. Yeah, that one's. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, it's fine. Has he got something in his mouth? No, he's just stepping on it.
No, it's fine.
Nukum is a zanir, so basically it's at the end of the word. So if you see something like that, the word is ending at ayman. Exactly, yes. Sorry, we were just following a discussion from the previous Twitch. It's not particularly relevant to this video. We are going to continue reading the Quran in Arabic and discussing it in English as we do every week. This is a continuation from where we built off last week, but I might release both of these episodes at the same time because they're connected. I don't know, I haven't decided. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to continue as if this is a brand new episode, and as we do, we will say, start always with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, which means I seek refuge from God, from the devil, and Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the most merciful, and His mercy is all encompassing. And let's get back into it.
واعبدوا الله ولا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا وبذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين والجار ذي القربى والجار الجنب والصاحب بالجنب وابن السبيل وما ملكت أيمانكم إن الله لا يحب من كان مختالا فخورا.
Okay. So, and worship God and do not associate with Him anything, which means don't put anyone at the same as God's level. I don't necessarily mean don't think that it don't believe in other gods, as long as you don't equate them to Him, as long as. Let's not get into it. Let's not complicate my life.
Let's not get into it.
And to the parents, do good, and with the ones who are relatives of you, and the orphans, and the needy, and the neighbor who is near, and the neighbor who is further away, and the companion by your side, and the person who's traveling, Ibn Sabil, and the traveler, and what has possessed your right hands or your oaths.
What we discussed in the previous section.
Indeed, God does not love those who are proud and boastful.
Yes, like arrogant.
Yeah.
Mukhtalan means arrogant, and fakhuran is like someone who's
overly
also,
proud.
Proud.
So here it's saying, be humble, obey God, do good by your parents, do good by your relatives, do good by the orphans. Again, the main call of Islam is how to be a good person.
Yeah. وَعَبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ means worship only one God.
Yeah, worship one God and do not worship. Well, no, do not associate anybody equal to Him. That's what I'm very specific about it. Tushriku means to believe somebody is equal to God, or the concept of not
or worshipping other gods.
Well, the way that I've understood it is like, for instance, in Hindu culture, they have the concept that all different gods come, but they all come from one source. So in a way, you're still worshipping a part of God, which is just a mental construct that connects to the source. There's a way for it to be godly. You know that this isn't the source and creator, but you know that like you're trying to reach God through a channel.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Hindu culture, how they think of it.
Yeah.
But here it just mentions that there's only one God, and it's very clear that it has to be like there's only one God, and you should not associate anyone with anything with this God.
I don't like the concept of calling the other deities gods.
Yes.
So the concept of having God is a specific keyword for the one creator.
Yes.
But that's a philosophical discussion that we don't need to. Mostly the Quran is just telling you, be good, do good to your parents, do by your parents, your relatives, the orphans, the needy, the neighbor that's near, the neighbor that's far, the companion by your side, the traveler, and whoever you owe an oath to.
Yes.
Do good, people. Be good.
الذين يبخلون ويأمرون الناس بالبخل ويكتمون ما آتاهم الله من فضله وأعتدنا للكافرين عذابا مهينا.
Okay. Continuing, God doesn't like the arrogant and the boastful, the ones who are stingy and order people with stinginess and hide what has been given to them from God, from His bounty, and we have prepared for the disbelievers a punishment that is humiliating. So here it's continuing about the arrogant and boastful, the ones who are not honest about what their wealth is, the ones who are hiding their stuff, and they're like, no, I shouldn't help because I don't have the means to help because I'm struggling too. Which honestly, like I've not necessarily I've been this, but maybe in the past I was less likely to be as helpful because I'm like, no, I'm also struggling too, you know. When it really my struggles are a lot less than the person who's asking me for help struggles, so I really have more of a responsibility to help them.
Yeah.
But here it's just specifying that.
والذين ينفقون أموالهم رئاء الناس ولا يؤمنون بالله ولا باليوم الآخر ومن يكن الشيطان له قرينا فساء قرينا.
Okay, now here's an interesting perspective because I have a beautiful philosophical discussion for it. And those who spend their wealth just so that people can see, look at me, I'm spending my wealth, and look, I'm so generous, are the people who do not believe in God and do not believe in the last day. And whoever has al-shaytan, the devil, for him, qarinan is a very specific word, but companion, and I'll explain it in a second. Fasa'a qarinan. Now, in Arabic culture, and you'll find it in many parts of the Quran as well, qareen is almost like your soul counterpart. And what I find this here, it's saying whoever takes your soul counterpart to be the devil, which is interesting because the devil it's almost like a metaphor for all of our negative sides. It's a metaphor for all of our demonic sides. We all have the capacity to do evil, to hurt, to harm, to lie, to cheat, to steal, to kill. And the idea is that the devil is convincing you, but the reality is you convince yourself. You are the one that's telling yourself that I'm going to do these things. And whoever takes the devil as a counterpart, essentially, is by doing good, your soul counterpart is becoming more devil. It's kind of a metaphor for how the connection between you and your soul counterpart is. And everyone has this soul counterpart and there's a lot of connections to it. And I also had connections with my dead partner about Qarinan. I had some stories. I'll tell you some stories a bit later. But it's interesting that whoever takes your soul counterpart as the devil, which for me is whoever does evil deeds and turns your soul counterpart more devilish, is what God is talking about. فَسَاءَ قَرِيبًا.
So it's like the worst.
The worst.
So whoever takes the devil as his companion, then this is the worst companion.
And again, I think it's the devil within us, but that's my own.
Yeah, it can be for me, it can be the devil within you, and it can also be another person. It's symbolic. To me, I see the word the devil to be also symbolic, and I think somewhere in the Quran it mentions shayateen al-ins wal-jinn, meaning that it can be from humans and it can be also from the jinn. Yeah. It can be an actual shaitan from the jinn, or it can be another person who is like the devil or a shaitan.
Yeah.
وماذا عليهم لو آمنوا بالله واليوم الآخر وأنفقوا مما رزقهم الله وكان الله بهم عليما.
And what has happened to them if they believed in God and the day of judgment? Like, what would have happened to them if they had believed and they spent what has been provided for them by God, and God is about them all knowing.
Yeah. So it kind of means like, what harm would have happened if they believed in God? How could that be bad for them if they believed in God and in the last day, and they spent from the money that God has given them to all the different people that were mentioned in the previous ayah, and God is all knowing of everything.
Yeah, but again, playing devil's advocate, if I was a non-believer today, I'd be like, yeah, well, I also could believe in aliens. I could believe in werewolves. I could believe in vampires. Why would I believe in any of these things if I don't have to? So here the counter argument is like, what do you lose by believing in God? Well, then I have to do a bunch of things that God is telling me to do. And if I don't believe in what God's telling me to do, then I just do whatever I want, you know? So I kind of understand the counter argument to it. But
this can be true because a lot of people look at religion as obligations. So they hear the term religion, so then it means that I have to do this and I don't have to do that and I have to. But in the core of it, I think religion is very simple. I think at the core of it, it's to believe that there is a God, to believe that there is an end day, that there is a purpose for everything, that something that links the past, the future, the present,
and answers the question of why are we here.
Yes, and answers why we are here. So I think overall, for me at least, it makes me more relaxed,
calm,
and
and I needed that as well, so I kind of understand it. But it's just as a counter argument of what would you lose if you believe in God? Well, what do you gain is the counter argument.
Yeah.
And you and I are saying you gain peace of mind.
Yeah.
But that's our perspective.
إن الله لا يظلم مثقال ذرة وإن تك حسنة يضاعفها ويؤت من لدنه أجرا عظيما.
Okay. Indeed, God does not wrong. Does not do
injustice.
مثقال ذرة. The weight of an atom of injustice.
And it's very interesting that in the old interpretations that are used, like the biggest ones that are used today, I think at that time they didn't know the atom yet.
Existed.
So they explained it as a small ant.
Yeah.
So the term, they explained this one as a very small ant. So God would not do injustice even in the weight of a small ant. But now this word means atom, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know how the atom word started. Might be worth looking at. But now it means that God will not do injustice in the weight of an atom.
The smallest recognizable particle. Of course, there are charges, there's quarks and gluons, but here it just means the smallest possible understandable concepts, and now we use it as the word atom, which is kind of very beautiful. It's seen that the Quran has withstood this test of time, that our understanding of these words became more evolved as we went through our history.
Yes.
And if there is, if there is good, then He doubles it, and He gives from the ones near Him a reward that is great.
And He gives from Him, I think.
Yeah, from Him. Yeah. From min ladunhi, the ones that are close to Him.
I think min ladunhi means like from Him.
Close, or from Him.
Or from what He has. Or,
out of His grace.
Yes,
okay.
Out of His grace, yes.
Okay.
That's a good interpretation, yeah.
Okay.
فكيف إذا جئنا من كل أمة بشهيد وجئنا بك على هؤلاء شهيدا.
Okay. So how will it be then if we bring from every nation a witness, and we bring against those people a witness?
And we bring you speaking to the prophet.
Well, is it?
Yeah, because these verses were revealed to the prophet. So when it says وَجِئْنَا بِكَ, it refers to the prophet. It's not speaking about you. It's not, or me. I don't know about you, but it's not talking about me.
I hear you, but okay. So the general understanding is that it's talking about the prophet, and I'm not going to rock the boat. But essentially, what would have happened if we brought you as a witness against you?
On all these nations. So what would happen if from every community?
I
What
think
happens
it's
if
different.
we bring from every
If
nation a witness, and then we
when
brought you
as a witness for your people.
as a witness against yours? Yeah.
على هؤلاء شهيدا.
It can be understood that
Against
you will
yours
be
or
witness
against all of them.
all of them. Yeah, that's how I understood it at the beginning.
فكيف so how if we bring from every nation a witness and we bring you against those people, so the witnesses as a witness.
Yes.
You're a witness against the witnesses.
Yeah.
Maybe it's understood, but okay.
يومئذ يود الذين كفروا وعصوا الرسول لو تسوى بهم الأرض ولا يكتمون الله حديثا.
On that day, those will wish who disbelieve, the disbelievers will have wished, the ones who disbelieved and disobeyed the messenger. So those people would have wished
الرسول.
it was leveled between them and the earth, and they were not able to hide from God any statements.
Anything against them.
Any
so
event.
on that day, when the witnesses are there,
Yeah.
those people who disbelieved or who covered and they did not follow or did not obey the prophet, they will wish, as if the literal translation is that the earth is flattened with them. So in a way it means like they wish they could have disappeared. Like, and they will not be able to withhold anything or hide anything about themselves.
Yeah.
And I think there are other verses in the Quran or that speak about that on that day everything you did would just show
would
or
be apparent.
Yeah.
And they'll wish that they were reduced to dust. I like this kind of expression.
Yeah, reduced to dust.
Yeah.
It's
Leveled
it
with them
gives
in the
the
earth.
it gives the meaning. Yeah.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى حتى تعلموا ما تقولون ولا جنبا إلا عابري سبيل حتى تغتسلوا وإن كنتم مرضى أو على سفر أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو لامستم النساء فلم تجدوا ماء فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم إن الله كان عفوا غفورا.
I still hate with a passion when they repeat and it's not supposed to be repeated. Because it's like, what the hell?
And I
what
said,
are we doing here?
I still don't know the reason.
It's just God. Anyway, they were put there for a specific reason, but people like to follow their fathers instead of following what the book says. Anyway, okay, this is a very famous phrase because, it's something that kind of rings in our minds quite a lot when we're talking about substance use. It says, "O ye of those who believe, do not go near," which I also find interesting. "La taqrabu" can mean don't go near, and you will not go near. "Lan taqrabu."
But it says don't. It doesn't say len.
Okay.
It says don't.
As I said it, I realized what I was saying. So do not go near the prayer while you are intoxicated. So until you know what you are saying.
Yes, but I think it's drunk. It's more specifically drunk. It means drunk.
So there was an expression that was said by the prophet, or at least this is what is passed down from the words, is that what intoxicates a lot of it a little bit is intoxicating.
Yes.
ما كثيره يسكر ما قليله
Yes, but
حرام.
but
No,
I mean
a little
that,
bit of it is a sin, but it's not.
Yes.
But this is. I agree with you. It means drunk because it says
Yes.
until you know what you are saying.
yes, and I think what was mentioned in one of the interpretation is that the reason why this verse was revealed is that because at the beginning, before this came, they used to drink alcohol, and then it happened that they drank alcohol and then they went to prayer.
Yeah.
The time for prayers came, and then they started praying, and then they said the words of a verse, like they forgot something, so they said the opposite meaning during prayer. So then this came that do not pray while you are drunk,
Until you
so
know
because you need to know
what you're
until
saying.
you know what you're saying.
Yeah. And there is no ولا جنبا, and there is no impurity except for passing on the way through.
So except for people who are traveling on the way and cannot find the water.
Yeah.
So like and do not also approach prayer if you are impure. I don't know al-wudu what it means in
Where
English.
is it saying? Udu?
No, this is what I want to say.
Oh, okay.
جنبا means like مش مطهرين أو مش متوضيين.
You're not purified. You're not bathed. But there's like a specific bit like, did we go over it in?
No.
Because I have it here. Quran prayers, Surah Al-Hajj 114. No, this is there's a lot of prayers. Wudu, Surah Al-Ma'idah, which is chapter 5, chapter 6. All you who believe and you come to stand to prayer, then wash your faces, your hands to the elbows, and wipe your heads and your feet
Yeah.
to
So
the ankles.
This is the way you need to clean yourself before prayer.
Purifying yourself before prayer.
Purifying yourself before praying. So Junuban means that you are impure.
Yeah, so those are
in that way.
impure, except for the ones passing in the way, traveling, until you have bathed. And if you were sick or on a journey or came to one of you from the toilet.
Yes. Yeah. It's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you have touched women and you did not find water, then you do tayammum, which is the same as the bathing, but
Without
sand.
water.
With sand.
Yeah.
With earth, yeah. So that you can clean yourselves and wipe your faces and your hands. Indeed, God is oft pardoning and oft forgiving.
Yeah, something to add about Junuban, you will find also a more specific interpretation here. If you press on 2. Yeah, this is also something that I read, that this means specifically...
After sexual intercourse or a wet dream.
Yeah.
Does it continue there? Do not approach prayer while intoxicated until you're aware of what you're saying, nor in a state of full impurity, unless you're merely passing through the mosque, until you have bathed. And the state of purity is if you are ill or on a journey or have relieved yourselves or have been intimate with your wives and cannot find water, then purify yourself on the earth by wiping your hands and face. And God is ever pardoning and oft forgiving. So here's talking about the conditions of what not to do when you're praying.
Yeah.
ألم تر إلى الذين أوتوا نصيبا من الكتاب يشترون الضلالة ويريدون أن تضلوا السبيل
Okay, did you not see those who were given a portion of the book and they were purchasing error or misguidance and wishing that you stray from the way of God, the way of the right path? Now here, we can be referring to the previous scriptures that we're talking about, the Bible, the Injil. Injil is the Arabic word for Bible, and the Torah, which has been given to the Jews. But it also could refer to the Muslims, but I'm not sure if this applies. Like if you're talking to the Prophet, I don't know how this would work for the Muslims specifically.
Yeah, I think here it doesn't specify exactly, but
Yeah.
it mentions the people who, again, I think we saw this in Surah Al-Baqarah a few times, the people who buy misguidance with their guidance,
Yeah,
or like
exchange.
they sell what they know, their knowledge, what they learned from the book, and then they are completely misguided. So those who know but choose to go in a different direction, let's say.
الله أعلم بأعدائكم وكفى بالله وليا وكفى بالله نصيرا.
And God knows better about your enemies, and is sufficient God as a protector, and sufficient God as a helper. God is sufficient as a protector, and God is sufficient as a helper. He is a guardian, he is a helper. So here it's talking about anyone who is trying to guide you in the wrong path, and God will be able. All you have to do is seek refuge from God, and God will protect you, and God will
so it also mentions at the beginning that God knows better who your enemies are, referring to sometimes you have enemies and you're not even aware that they are your enemies. So
sometimes you have besties,
and they are actually your enemies.
They are the ones that are just taking you down the wrong path, making you use the wrong substances. I'm not talking about anyone specific, but if you're watching this video, my besties, ex-besties, you know who you are. They're definitely not watching my Quran videos. There's a reason why they're the wrong people. Oh God.
من الذين هادوا يحرفون الكلم عن مواضعه ويقولون سمعنا وعصينا واسمع غير مسمع وراعنا ليا بألسنتهم وطعنا في الدين ولو أنهم قالوا سمعنا وأطعنا واسمع وانظرنا لكان خيرا لهم وأقوم ولكن لعنهم الله بكفرهم فلا يؤمنون إلا قليلا.
Okay. And of those who are Jews, specifically, they distort the words from their places, and they say, "We have heard and we've disobeyed." And
hear, and you are not heard. Isma غير مسمع means that they used to tell the Prophet, "You hear us, but we will not hear you."
Oh, Isma, you hear
and
us.
Hear, yeah.
But غير مسمع, you will not be heard by us.
Yeah.
وراعنا.
And they say the word ra'ina, and here it's a bit complicated because, and here it says they say the word ra'ina layyan, twisting their tongues, meaning that they actually say ra'ina in the sense that they wanted to mean like as if look after us or take care of us, while actually in the word it also can refer to ru'una, someone who's like
a shepherd who's herding their sheep and guiding the sheep.
No, ru'una is like someone who's like not very wise, like ru'una.
I don't know that.
Can you translate it?
Sure. But I think I'm gonna have to do the. Oh, God, I thought it's still there.
No, ru'una. Yes. Ru'una. Yes, exactly.
I have not heard this word before. Lameness.
Yes.
Okay.
So they say ra'ina, like in a way, okay, take care of us, but actually they say it in a way that it also implies
that he's
lame, or he's like, yeah.
Yeah, so like take care of us, but really they're saying
you're lame.
You're lame.
Yeah.
Defaming in their religion, and if they said we heard and we obeyed, we hear and
look at us and zorna instead of ra'ina. Look at us instead of the word that they were using.
Yeah.
This would have been better.
It would have been better for them. And more suitable, but God cursed them for their disbelief, so they do not believe except a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here it's saying that they use the word ra'ina, they didn't use the word we hear and obey, and if they had used it, unzurna, attend to us, it would have been better. But they didn't, and God knows that they're cursed and they're doomed. Okay, spicy attacks on certain books of the faith.
Yeah.
يا أيها الذين أوتوا الكتاب آمنوا بما نزلنا مصدقا لما معكم من قبل أن نطمس وجوها فنردها على أدبارها أو نلعنهم كما لعنا أصحاب السبت وكان أمر الله مفعولا.
Okay, interesting. O ye those who have been given the book, so again, Jews and Christians, believe in what has been revealed, confirming what is with you from before, that we efface our faces.
Like not maswuguhan means that we make them without any features. Like they're without features.
Okay, they make them without features.
We wipe out your faces
before
we wipe out, in the translation here.
Before we wipe out your faces.
Yeah.
And turn them away on
and
their
turn them on their backs, like turn them upside down.
Or we curse them as we cursed the companions of the Sabbath. Welcome back, Mohab.
Hi, Mohab.
And is the command of God always executed?
Yeah, and we saw the story of the Sabbath in the previous, in Surah Al-Baqarah, that God has ordered the Jews not to do anything on the Saturday, and then they were doing some sort of trick to get some fish on Saturday, and they were not allowed. Yeah.
This seems
we saw
remotely familiar. It sounds familiar, but I don't quite remember it. Like, it sounds like we've read it, but we've read a lot.
Yes.
That's kind of the point of why there's so much repetition in the Quran, because it's impossible to keep it all in your head.
Yes. But then it refers to a story that was mentioned in the previous verses, yeah.
Welcome back, Mohab. We read your comment about the secret to avoiding the sufferings of marriage is just never to get married. It was well received, but if we tie it back to what the verses are saying, marriage is a financial commitment, an obligation, a duty, a duty bound between the two people.
Yes.
Which is quite interesting. Okay, last couple of verses.
إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك لمن يشاء ومن يشرك بالله فقد افترى إثما عظيما.
Okay. Indeed, God does not forgive that partners be associated with Him, and it's equating someone or something to God. So the key word is God here. Don't use the word gods, but we can use other words. And He forgives from other than that for whom He wills, and whoever He associates partners with gods, then surely He has fabricated a sin that is tremendous, grand, grave. Superb sin.
And when I read this one, I related it to number 31, which we read a while ago, that mentions that if you avoid the big sins, then we will forgive all your small sins.
Yeah.
And here it mentions that God will forgive anything except for that is the biggest sin, which is to associate other gods with God, or to make equals to Him.
Partners. For me, it's equal, like you're worshipping them as if they're the creator, the cause, the grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
ألم تر إلى الذين
We have a question.
Yes.
Yes, Mohab, feel free to put the question in. I don't know how. You have to be on Twitch to kind of see what the question is, but I'll try and read it out so that we can keep it interactive. Maybe I'll read this. We'll let this whole verse read out first, and then read the question, because it's going to take a second.
Is your battery okay?
It's okay. It's the last 5 verses.
Okay.
Right, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
يزكون أنفسهم بل الله يزكي من يشاء ولا يظلمون فتيلا.
Before we get into Mahab's question, because he still not shared it, did you not see those who claim purity for themselves?
I see it يزكون أنفسهم. I see it more that they want to make themselves look great, or make themselves look
Well,
like
here-
elevate themselves above everyone else. And it refers in the interpretations to, of course, the Jews saying that they are the chosen people, the
God.
beloved ones, and
Yeah.
so on. And I think people from different religions do that from in one way or another. So do you see these people who try to elevate themselves from other people, but what it should be, the way it should be, that God is the one who elevates whoever
who
he
purifies.
wants.
It's
And
God chooses who's the people that belong to God, not the people who say that they are the belong to God.
yes,
Yeah.
and they will not be
Wronged
in any way.
In any way. So I agree. And now we have the question from Mahab. In the previous verse, so in this ayah, God doesn't forgive someone who's associating a partner or equal to God, but what about non-believer? Can that be forgiven? If you're reading this specific ayah, then I would say yes. The only thing that God does not forgive is that the partners be associated with him.
But I think it's also important to believe in a God.
It is important to believe in God, but this specifically says God does not forgive this, which is associating someone with partners. And other than that, for whom he wills, and for whoever associates partners with God, then surely he has fabricated a great sin. So it has separated those who associate a partner with God and the rest, and those who separate a partner with God have the great sin, and they will not be forgiven. But if, according to the question, what about a non-believer? Can it be forgiven? I think personally, my own personal opinion is that if you're a good person but you don't necessarily believe in God, I still think that this is a grounds for an entrance to heaven or to some sort of afterlife reward.
I cannot give an answer to that now, because I think there are other verses that speak about that, but it always mentions those who believe in God and in the day after.
Yeah.
And do good.
It does mention it very often. It does stress on it. So it is an important thing, but whether or not God can forgive it is not something that we can take a claim to.
Unless maybe there is a verse that speaks about that specifically. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we see it at some point.
Yeah. But anyway, we didn't have any discussion about the false to elevate themselves. Only God chooses who are his people.
Yeah.
انظر كيف يفترون على الله الكذب وكفى به إثما مبينا.
So continuing, those who claim that they're the people of God, see how they invent about God lies, and sufficient is it as a sin that is manifest, or a blatant sin, an obvious sin.
Yeah.
ألم تر إلى الذين أوتوا نصيبا من الكتاب يؤمنون بالجبت والطاغوت ويقولون للذين كفروا هؤلاء أهدى من الذين آمنوا سبيلا.
Did you not see that towards those who are given a portion of the book, they believe in superstition and false deities, and they say that those who disbelieved are the ones that are better guided from those who believed in the way.
Yeah. So here actually they chose two meanings for al-Jabut wa al-Jabt wa al-Taghut. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but these two words, when you read the Arabic interpretation, they have different meanings. So they are explained in different ways.
Yeah.
I think no one knows exactly what it means, but here it says superstition and false deities, and here it says idols and false gods. And other, from the Arabic translation, it mentions magic and kahana.
I don't know that word.
Kahana, like kahan.
I don't know the words.
Sometimes I feel like how to even speak Arabic. Moheb, what does kahin mean? Moheb, please help.
Spell it for me.
Kahin. Yes.
Oh, we can just put it here. Priest.
Priest.
Oh, I do know.
Yes.
I thought of that
Yes,
word,
the
but
priests.
but then what does that have to do with?
Priests who are
I understand
not
why you
good
had a problem
priests.
with me not understanding Arabic. Yeah, but I don't think that mentions that. I think that's way too far. Someone who claims to see the future? No, that's fortune tellers.
Where did you get someone who claims to see the? Yes, it can also mean that. It can also mean that.
Or maybe I'm wrong. No, I mean.
It can also mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
fortune tellers.
It's speaking about possible meanings. So I think the exact meaning is not very clear, but it's something around idols, magic, those who do magic, those who are like priests or people who pretend to see the future, like Moheb mentioned, the devil, the idols that they used to worship back in the days. So it can mean different things.
Yeah. Okay.
أولئك الذين لعنهم الله ومن يلعن الله فلن تجد له نصيرا.
Yeah, those are the ones who have cursed gods or have been cursed by God, and whoever is cursed by God, then you will never find for him any helper or victor or savior.
Yeah.
أم لهم نصيب من الملك فإذا لا يؤتون الناس نقيرا
Or for them a share of the kingdom, then they would not give. Would they not give the people
anything?
A speck on a date of seed?
Like they wouldn't give the smallest the smallest thing that exists.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give anything. Meaning, like if they get a share of wealth or power, they wouldn't give anything to other people.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last verse.
يحسدون الناس على ما آتاهم الله من فضله فقد آتينا آل إبراهيم الكتاب والحكمة وآتيناهم ملكا عظيما.
Okay. Or are they envious or jealous of those who is what we have given to them, what has given to them what God has given them from his bounty? But surely we gave to them the family of Abraham the book and the wisdom, and we gave them the kingdom, the great kingdom.
Yeah.
Which book did God give to Abraham?
No, not أتينا آل Ibrahim. It's not to Abraham. It's like
the family of
Abraham. The descendants of Abraham, the books and the wisdom.
Which, if you look at the descendants of Abraham, it's all three: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So all three of them had different books, but this is talking about all the books and the wisdoms that have been shared.
And there were a lot of prophets who were descendants of Abraham.
Of Abraham and his people.
منهم من آمن به ومنهم من صد عنه وكفى بجهنم سعيرا.
From the people of the descendants of Abraham, then of them are those who believed in him, and of them are those who turned away from him, and sufficient is hell, the blazing fire. Yeah. Hell is sufficient as a torment.
Yeah.
إن الذين كفروا بآياتنا سوف نصليهم نارا كلما نضجت جلودهم بدلناهم جلودا غيرها ليذوقوا العذاب إن الله كان عزيزا حكيما.
Okay. bit of a spicy phrase.
Yeah.
Indeed, those who disbelieved in our signs, soon we will burn them. It's scald them almost, like burn their skins in a fire. Every time they are roasted and their skins, we will. Every time we have roasted their skins, we will change their skins for other than that, so that they may taste the punishment. Indeed, God is almighty and all wise. This is a very painful verse. And it sounds like, we burn them until their skin's burnt and then give them new skin so that they can feel the burn all over again. Jesus, Mary. Oh. Sorry.
الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات سندخلهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا لهم فيها أزواج مطهرة وندخلهم ظلا ظليلا.
My mom always said that after every mention of hell and fire, there's always a mention of heaven.
Yes, and so far I've noticed it.
Yeah. And those who believe and did the good deeds, we will admit them to the gardens that flow from underneath its rivers, which means the fertile gardens, where they will be abiding in it forever, immortal in it forever, abiding in it until eternity. For them in it is spouses that are purified, and we'll admit them in a shade that is thick, under a vast shade. Yeah, that was a good phrase. Do you have anything to add about the last section, or are we good?
That's it.
Yeah, I think that in conclusion, we'll probably have them as 2 episodes, but YouTube will already know this because this will be the already episode. But as usual, we end every session with وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ, which means, and trusted is the word of God, almighty and all-powerful. Thank you all for watching. Love y'all. Have a wonderful time. And
Thank you.
مع السلامة. Ciao, ciao. Salam alaikum.
Bye.
Bye.